Did you know that over 1.2 million immigrants arrived in the UK in just the past year alone? That's the highest number ever recorded in British history. And it's not just a number, it's a reality reshaping the way cities breathe, grow, and break. Across the UK, once manageable towns and cities are now bursting at the seams. Streets are packed, hospitals overwhelmed, schools struggling to keep up. But here's the real kicker. Some cities are absorbing far more than they can handle, and hardly anyone's talking about it. This isn't just about population growth, it's about pressure on housing, transport, jobs, and community life. And in 2025, that pressure has reached a boiling point in certain cities where the immigration wave hit hardest. So which cities are now so overcrowded that locals can't find flats, appointments, or even a seat on the bus? How did this happen so fast? And what does it actually look like on the ground? We're counting down 10 UK cities that are now overcrowded due to immigration in 2025, based on real numbers, visible changes, and the everyday impact people are feeling right now. Some of the cities might surprise you. Others will make you rethink everything you thought you knew about urban life in the UK. Let's get into it. Number 10. Sheffield. Once known for its steel and student scene, Sheffield is now facing a new kind of pressure. In 2025, it has become one of the UK's unexpected hotspots for recent migrants, and it's starting to show. Over the past 3 years, Sheffield has seen a population increase of nearly 7%, with a large portion of that growth driven by new arrivals from overseas. That might not sound huge, but for a city of its size, the strain is real. Rent prices in some areas have skyrocketed by over 30%, pushing locals and students to the outskirts or into shared housing situations that are bursting at the seams. Local GPs are reporting longer waiting times, schools are running out of places, and the city's infrastructure, especially public transport, is stretched thin. Buses are packed during peak hours, and traffic congestion has worsened despite efforts to expand road networks. Culturally, Sheffield remains one of the most welcoming cities in the UK. Its communities are known for being open and diverse. But even the most open arms get tired when resources run low. What's even more alarming is how the city council is struggling to keep up. Emergency housing is nearly full, and social services are sounding the alarm about burnout. Sheffield is changing fast, too fast. And while change can be a good thing, unplanned change rarely is. If you live in Sheffield, you're probably already feeling this. And if you don't, this city's story might be a glimpse of what's coming elsewhere. Number 9. Coventry. Coventry used to fly under the radar, but in 2025, it's front and center in the immigration conversation, and not necessarily for the right reasons. This West Midlands city has seen a 9% rise in population since 2022, much of it driven by an influx of international students, asylum seekers, and migrant workers. Its location, relatively affordable housing, at least until recently, and industrial revival made it an attractive destination. But now that growth has created serious friction. The city's transport system is struggling. Buses are unreliable, roads are clogged, and the recent plans for expansion have been delayed due to budget constraints. Locals complain that getting to work or school can now take twice as long as it used to. Housing is no better. Rental prices have shot up nearly 25% in just 18 months. First-time buyers are being priced out, and shared accommodations are overflowing. Some areas are now seeing wait lists just to view properties, never mind renting them. Schools are another flashpoint. Classrooms are packed, resources are thin, and teachers are stretched. Some primary schools have begun using overflow units just to accommodate new intakes. Coventry is a city of resilience. Its history is rooted in rebuilding. But right now, it's walking a tightrope between revival and rupture. So what do you think? Is Coventry heading for a breakthrough or a breakdown? Have you seen this happening in your own city? Drop a comment below with your thoughts, and if you're finding this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. There's more to uncover as we move further down the list of overcrowded UK cities in 2025. Number 8. Glasgow. Glasgow's always been a city of contrasts, grit and grandeur, struggle and strength, but in 2025, it's a different kind of contrast that's catching everyone's eye. fast-paced growth crashing into immovable infrastructure. The headlines will tell you Glasgow's booming. More jobs, more diversity, more people. But take a walk down Hall Street or hop on a morning bus and you'll feel the difference. Not the good kind. In just 2 years, the city's population has surged, fueled by new waves of immigrants from Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. Many came for opportunity, and they found it. But Glasgow's systems didn't scale with them. The demand for housing has far outpaced supply. Flats are being let before viewings even happen. Families are cramming into one-bedroom apartments. Hostels are full. Public services, they're buckling. NHS clinics are overstretched, and getting an appointment is now a game of luck. The council's support systems are running hot, juggling new arrivals with locals already in need. And yet, the city doesn't stop. People still move here. The music still plays. But under the surface, the strain is undeniable. This isn't about blame, it's about bandwidth. How much can one city handle before it starts to splinter? Glasgow's got heart, but even the strongest hearts can feel overwhelmed. Number 7. Bradford. Bradford has long worn its identity proudly, a city rich in history, culture, and community. But in 2025, it's also wearing something else: pressure. Heavy, unrelenting pressure. Over the last few years, Bradford has welcomed a significant number of migrants, both newly arrived and those relocating from other UK cities. Many are drawn by its affordability, its growing job market, and its deep-rooted communities. But now, those very strengths are becoming sources of strain. Bradford's housing situation is bordering on critical. Multi-generational households have become the norm, not by choice, but by necessity. It's not unusual to find 3, sometimes 4, families sharing one modest semi-detached home. Council housing lists are growing by the week, and private landlords are hiking rents while offering less. The healthcare system here, strained to the edge. NHS walk-ins are flooded, and GP surgeries are closing patient lists, and schools, once Bradford's pride, are now overwhelmed. Teachers are burning out, and classrooms are bursting. Community tensions, while mostly below the surface, are beginning to bubble up. It's not animosity, it's exhaustion. Resources are tight, space is tighter, and everyone feels the squeeze. Bradford isn't breaking, not yet. But you can feel the fatigue. In the shops, on the buses, in the parks. It's all just a little heavier than it used to be. This city has always been resilient. But resilience doesn't replace infrastructure. It's clear Bradford needs help. Support that matches the pace of its growth. Without it, the city risks turning its cultural richness into social friction. Number 6. Slough. Slough isn't usually the kind of place that grabs national headlines. But in 2025, it's making noise, and not just from the traffic. Wedged between London and Reading, Slough has quietly become one of the UK's most overcrowded urban hubs. With a population of just over 160,000, this small town has taken on a load that feels 5 times its size. A big part of that weight? Immigration. Slough's appeal lies in location. Just 20 minutes from central London by train, it became a magnet for people priced out of the capital. Add to that a steady flow of new migrants seeking affordable housing and job opportunities, and the town simply couldn't keep up. The housing situation is especially dire. It's not uncommon to see 5 or more people sharing a single-bedroom flat. Garage conversions, garden sheds, and even vans are being used as makeshift homes. Complaints about illegal subletting have skyrocketed. Infrastructure hasn't fared much better. Local GPs are inundated, roads are jammed. Bins pile up faster than the council can clear them. And schools, bursting. Some have resorted to temporary classrooms just to handle the overflow. What makes it harder is that Slough doesn't have the resources of a major city. It's trying to absorb a big city population spike with small town systems. And it's starting to buckle. Yet in the middle of the chaos, life goes on. People adapt, they hustle, they make space where there is none. But the truth is, Slough wasn't built for this much demand. It's a warning sign in plain sight. When growth outpaces planning, even the most modest towns can start to crack under the weight. Number 5. Leicester. Leicester is a city that thrives on its diversity. Walk through its neighbourhoods and you'll hear dozens of languages, smell food from every corner of the globe, and feel the pulse of a place that's always moved to its own rhythm. But in 2025, even Leicester's strong cultural fabric is starting to fray under the weight of overpopulation. Over the past few years, the city has experienced one of the highest per capita immigration increases in the UK. That's not just a statistic, it's visible in real life. Buses arrive full, appointments vanish within minutes, and entire housing blocks have waiting lists before they're even finished being built. The housing situation is spiraling. Rows of terraced homes now shelter multiple families. Students are being outbid by working professionals for rentals. And vulnerable residents are falling through the cracks. Emergency accommodation is maxed out, and the council has started using hotels to house families temporarily. It's not just the homes, it's the services. Leicester's hospitals and GP clinics are under extreme pressure. Education, secondary schools are bursting at capacity, and teachers report being unable to keep up with the needs of a constantly shifting student population. What's tough is that Leicester has always been an example of how multiculturalism can work. But now it's a city fighting to keep that balance, where richness in culture is starting to clash with the raw math of limited space. People here are proud. They don't give up easily. But pride alone can't solve congestion, overbooking, or overcrowded streets. If Leicester doesn't find a solution fast, it may go from being a success story of integration to a case study in urban strain. Number 4. Luton. Luton has always been fast-moving. A major airport, strong transport links, and proximity to London made it a popular destination for those seeking opportunity outside the capital. But in 2025, it's clear that this town has grown too fast for its own good. Immigration has played a central role in that rapid growth. Luton now has one of the highest proportions of foreign-born residents in the UK, with nearly 40% of its population born outside the country. That kind of diversity brings energy, but also enormous challenges. Take housing. Families are living in converted lofts, basements, and garages, places never meant for long-term living. Illegal rentals are a growing problem, with some landlords splitting up properties into unsafe, cramped units to cash in on demand. Even those who can afford proper accommodation are struggling to find any available listings. The pressure doesn't stop at the doorstep. NHS clinics are overwhelmed, with reports of residents travelling to nearby towns just to get seen. Schools are working at maximum capacity, often relying on temporary classrooms and mobile units. Social services are underfunded and overworked. Local residents, both long-term and newly arrived, are frustrated, not with each other, but with the lack of action. Luton's growth wasn't a surprise, it was predictable. What's surprising is how little has been done to manage it. Despite all this, Luton remains ambitious. It's pushing forward with regeneration projects and community initiatives. But without major investment and smarter urban planning, the town risks collapsing under the very growth that once made it thrive. Luton doesn't need to slow down, it needs support to catch up. Number 3. Manchester. Manchester is often hailed as the UK's second city, a symbol of northern pride, innovation, and economic revival. But in 2025, beneath the glossy headlines and towering cranes, a different story is unfolding. The city's population has exploded in recent years, with immigration accounting for over 60% of that growth since 2020. Manchester's universities, tech startups, and cultural pull continue to attract talent from across the globe. But the city's infrastructure wasn't built to handle this many people, this quickly. Rent prices have shot up by nearly 35% since 2022. Entire blocks of flats are now filled before they even hit the open market. For working-class families and students, finding affordable, stable housing has become a full-time job. Some are leaving the city altogether in search of somewhere they can breathe. Public transport is one of the hardest-hit areas. Trams and buses are overcrowded, delayed, or simply don't show up during peak hours. The roads, a daily gridlock. And with NHS services already under pressure, new arrivals are joining locals in long queues and months-long wait lists for appointments. What's more, local resentment is quietly growing. It's not hostility, it's exhaustion. When basic services collapse under weight, frustration doesn't take long to follow. Manchester's identity as a welcoming, vibrant city is still alive. but the cracks are visible. Growth without support creates inequality, and Manchester is teetering on the edge. It's a classic case of a city built for tomorrow, but overrun today. And if the investment doesn't catch up with the influx, the northern powerhouse might start powering down sooner than anyone expected. Number 2. Birmingham. Birmingham has always worn many hats: industrial hub, student city, cultural giant. But in 2025, it wears one more. One of the most overcrowded cities in the UK. With a population now tipping over 1.2 million, Birmingham has seen an incredible surge in immigration over the past 5 years. People from Eastern Europe, South Asia, Africa, and the Middle East have all found a home here, drawn by opportunity and diversity. But that welcoming spirit is now being tested by overstretched systems and a city bursting at the seams. Housing is in crisis mode. Entire neighbourhoods are locked in bidding wars, where one-bedroom flats are going for prices that rival London's suburbs. Families are being housed miles away from schools or jobs just to find space. Homelessness has also risen sharply, with shelters reporting record numbers. The education system isn't coping any better. Class sizes are the largest they've been in decades, and many schools are turning away students due to lack of space. Some children have to travel across boroughs just to find an available seat in a classroom. Then there's healthcare. Hospitals are packed, GPs are overloaded, and routine appointments can take months. Even A&E departments are struggling with wait times that feel endless. Birmingham's diversity is still one of its greatest strengths. But when resources are thin and demand is relentless, even the strongest social fabric can start to tear. The city isn't collapsing, but it is gasping for air. Without urgent investment in housing, healthcare, and education, Birmingham risks turning from a model of multicultural success into a warning sign for the rest of the UK. Number 1. London. London has always been crowded, but in 2025, it's reached a point where even long-time Londoners are calling it unlivable. The capital remains the number 1 destination for immigrants arriving in the UK. In just the past 2 years, over 500,000 new arrivals have settled in the Greater London area, many seeking jobs, safety, or simply a better future. But that influx is colliding headfirst with a city already stretched to its absolute limits. Finding housing in London today isn't just difficult, it's like winning the lottery. Rents have soared to unimaginable heights. Studios go for £1,800 a month in outer boroughs, while inner-city flats can cost more than entire houses elsewhere in the UK. Entire families are squeezed into single rooms, and thousands are living in temporary accommodation, including hostels, hotels, and emergency shelters. The underground is constantly overcrowded, with delays now a part of daily life. Bus services are overwhelmed, and traffic has turned even short commutes into marathon slogs. NHS clinics are shutting their doors to new patients. A&E departments resemble overcrowded waiting rooms more than emergency facilities. Teachers in boroughs like Tower Hamlets and Newham are reporting burnout as student populations skyrocket. What's worse, many of the people arriving in London aren't newcomers to the country. They're internal migrants, fleeing overcrowding in other cities, only to find things even more intense here. London is still a city of dreams, ambition, and culture. But the weight of constant growth without equal expansion in infrastructure is taking its toll. This isn't just about London, it's a mirror to what's happening across the country. And if the capital can't cope, what chance do smaller cities have? Before you scroll away, we want to hear from you. Is your city feeling the pressure too? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We actually read them all. If this video opened your eyes, check out our previous video for more behind-the-scenes truths the headlines don't show. We put serious time and heart into making these videos for you, so if you found it valuable, please support us by hitting subscribe. It's just one click, but it means everything to us.